Good afternoon, and hello. It's nice to see everyone. I'd like to call to order today's March 7th, 2023 meeting of the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority. At this time, if you are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Stanford, could we please have the roll call? Here.
Here.
Ms. Hairston.
Present.
Ms. Bird.
Here.
Ms. Madison-Simpson. Ms. Miller.
Present.
Mr. Weckerson. And Mr. Williamson.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
A quorum having been declared, we can conduct regular business today. First, I would like to call for the approval of the consent agenda. The Greater Dayton RTA Transit Authority bylaws require the board trustees' approval of today's board meeting agenda. The agenda was mailed in advance of today's meeting. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none with no changes, I would, actually, if there's no changes, I'll declare the agenda as presented. Moving on, approval of the February 7th board meeting minutes. Are there any requests for a reading of the February 7th board meeting minutes, or are there any changes to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the meeting minutes be approved as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Motion carries. Now on to committee reports. We will first go to Finance and Personnel Committee reports. That is actually going to be Ms. Howard, who is going to step in for Ms. Matthew Stinson.
That'll be Ms. Hairston.
I'm sorry, it is Ms.
No
Hairston.
problem.
And Sharon, before we start, Chris is going to exit the room as we're going to be voting on his contract.
The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees held a meeting on February 21st. And as a result, the Finance Personnel Committee is recommending 2 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 2, temporary services. The purpose of this procurement is to contract with qualified temporary staffing firms with expertise in expeditiously sourcing, screening, and providing quality candidates to fill the temporary staffing needs and/or temp to hire needs of the RTA. This supports our core value of our people because our employees are vital to our success and our people make a difference in everything we do. Ms. Trammell presented this item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve contract awards to Tranquil Multi-Dynamic Advisory, LLC, for item number 15, and to Crystal L. Dunson and Associates, Incorporated, for item numbers 6 and 7 for a 2-year period. The applicable hourly rates are included in today's board package. The aggregate award amount will not exceed $110,000. Actual award amounts will vary based on usage. Funds for temporary services are included in the Human Services operating budget.
Second.
Action item number 2, temporary services, has been properly moved and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? And abstentions? Aye. As I'm just now returning today and have not reviewed everything, I will be abstaining. Motion carries. Action item number 3.
Right. Action item number 3, legal services. The purpose of this procurement is to obtain legal services for general and corporate affairs, labor, workers' compensation, equal employment opportunity, miscellaneous, and litigation and settlement. This procurement is consistent with RTA's core value of stewardship. Ms. Deborah Howard presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's meeting packet. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve contract awards to Coolidge Wall Company, LPA, and Baker and Hostetter, LLP, for the applicable services and rates included in today's board package. A total of $772,698 has been appropriated for all legal services for 2023. Estimated amounts will be budgeted for legal services each year thereafter and appropriated annually by the Board of Trustees. Funds for legal services are included in RTA's annual operating budget.
Second.
Motion has properly been moved and second for action item number 3, legal services. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstention, being myself. Aye. Motion carries.
The last item to mention is that the preliminary December 2022 or 2022 financial report, as well as small purchases information, has been included in today's board package. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Hairston, as I can get that right now. And we'll move on to Planning Committee. Ms. Miller.
The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on February 21st, and as a result, the Planning Committee is recommending 2 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 4, Mr. Harrington explained the purpose of this procurement is to provide software maintenance for the Ross Enterprise Resource Planning accounting software from Aptean, Inc. Since the Ross software is proprietary, they are the only vendor that can provide maintenance services. The software is used daily by procurement, inventory, and accounting. The software includes general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed assets, purchasing, and receiving. The RTA has utilized the system for over 30 years. Major upgrades were performed on the system in 2007 and in 2018 and 19. Aptean quoted a price of $103,180.86 for 1 year of maintenance. Prior to this, the maintenance was covered under a 5-year agreement that was negotiated along with the 2018 update. Aptean now refuses to do multi-year maintenance agreements. As this is a sole source procurement, a cost analysis was performed to determine if the pricing received is fair and reasonable. The pricing from Aptean was found to have increased by 6% from last year. This increase was found fair and reasonable as the consumer price index has increased 6.5% in the last 12 months. Based on the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to award to Aptean, Inc. software maintenance for 1 year for a total of $103,181. This procurement will be funded with segregated funds.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Action item number 4 has been properly moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Aye. Action item number 4 is approved.
Action item number 5, Mr. Harrington explained that the RTA contracts with Clever Devices for support of RTA-owned Clever Devices hardware and software. The maintenance of these products demonstrates good stewardship by using our resources wisely. Currently, RTA desires to renew the maintenance agreements for various hardware and software products for a 3-year period. The only company that offers support for this list of hardware and software is the original equipment manufacturer and software developer, Clever Devices. Maintenance and support for these systems is sole source. The Ohio Revised Code exempts maintenance of hardware and software supplied by the original vendor from competitive bidding. A cost analysis was performed and initial pricing was found to be 19.18% above last year's costs. Some of the increase included several week-long trips for support and training purposes to have Clever Devices personnel on site for all 3 years of the contract. Considering those additions still left the increase at 6.23%. Negotiations with Clever Devices personnel resulted in reducing that 6.23% to a 2.33% the first year. The second year shows only a 0.79% increase due to the Greyhawk devices reaching end of service life in 1 year. The final year is at a 2.16% increase. This negotiation produced a savings of $55,109, or 3.29% over 3 years. Based on the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move that an award be made to Clever Device for maintenance of the Clever Devices products listed above for a 1-year period with 2 option years in the following amounts. Year 1, $533,834. Option year 1, $538,033. Option year 2, $549,638 for a total amount of $1,621,505. Hardware and software maintenance is included in the operating budget.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that action item number 5 be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Aye. Action item number 5 is approved.
Other items. At the committee meeting, Mr. Polachicchio also provided a summary document of recent activities in the Customer and Business Development Department. Mr. Polachicchio shared that there were no updates to make on ridership or service changes. That concludes my update, and staff is available if there's any additional questions.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. On to Chief Executive Officer's report, Mr. Rosinski.
Yep, I have 2 things to provide updates on. One, you may have read that the city of Dayton recently applied for a large public space streets improvement grant, over $20 million, and we were part of that application and part of the planning process. A small part, but we were at the table, which was great. And if that's approved, it'll make a big difference in our downtown streets. And the second thing is the city and the library have been working for a while with some partners, including RTA, on a possible library shuttle for the new West Dayton branch, where they would like to long-term build a pedestrian bridge to connect the neighborhoods on one side of 35 to the library, which is on the other side of 35. We will be donating some gently used Connect vehicles as they approach the end of their useful life here, and their replacements become available as part of that project. And we will be providing some scheduling assistance to help them with routing and whatnot. But they will be providing the drivers and the maintenance and ownership of the program and everything. So we're just a support effort on that. And that's all I have.
What signage will be on the vehicles?
It'll be a library-inspired graphic. Probably include the funder, the main funder who's actually funding the service, and that's not been announced yet. That's all I have for Chief Executive.
That's it? No?
You didn't miss a lot, John.
Oh, man.
We missed you, but you didn't miss a lot.
Man, well, all right, we'll move on. Is there any old business to share?
I do. I have some updates from the public comments from our last meeting. Mr. Frazier made comments on the length of the driver shifts, and we agree, and we've pledged to reduce those shift hours before putting any new fixed route service into play. This will be a long-term process, but we do hope to begin making adjustments with the next bus operator work pick coming up in a few months. He also commented on safety, and he is a member of the Safety Committee, and they meet quarterly. So, Ms. Smothers made comments about the frequent route changes and questioned buses serving UD students. Unfortunately, the route changes have been more frequent than we would like due to the hiring challenges that almost all businesses are facing in our post-COVID world. We are likely to sadly continue to face the need to make service adjustments to match CDL driver availability. That's just the reality of the world we live in. The flyer route that connects UD to the arcade is our third most used route, just for your information. And the Route 55 is fully funded by UD, which also makes that service available to the public. So there's no cost to RTA for that route. Ms. Day asked that we bring back Routes 64, 65, and 66, and RTA has replaced those routes with door-to-door services geared specifically to seniors and disabled riders. Kimberly Bright shared concerns about how recent changes have impacted late-night service in the area where she works. We are looking at some minor adjustments we may be able to make to better serve that location she mentioned without increasing driver hours. If that's not successful, we're going to reach out to the business to see if there's an opportunity to adjust the work schedule by about 15 minutes, and that would also solve the problem. Mary Miller shared concern about routes that were removed from service well over a year and a half ago and replaced with door-to-door options. She also asked that we bring back the food court and considering hiring young folks for transit ambassadors. The food court was closed after years of trying to make it work financially, as well as repeated customer complaints and health inspection challenges. RTA does employ many young people each summer as interns, and we have recently reduced the hiring age for many positions to 18 to attract younger applicants for our full-time jobs. She also once again questions how we, and I'll quote, suddenly have Mr. Rosinski appear. Oh, that's me. I did start with RTA in 1989 and have served in many different leadership roles, including Chief Capital Officer and Deputy CEO under Mark Donahue, before being named the CEO in April of 21 after his planned retirement. Finally, Ray Cobia expressed concerns about staff communications as well as a bus stop sign missing and a bus stop being relocated. We investigated the location mentioned, and we did indeed move a stop during a period of construction and move that stop closer to the entrance of a housing complex in the area, which actually provides better service for that complex. But after looking at it, we are going to leave the stop in place where we've moved it, but we're also going to put back the other stop and see if there is usage for both. And if there is, they will remain. If not, we will pick the busiest one and move forward. Those are the old business comments I have.
Thank you, Mr. Rosinski. Is there any new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comment. So anyone that wishes to address the board must speak on their own behalf. As you guys know, after you are recognized to speak, you must come to the lectern if possible. If not, we'll bring a microphone to you. You must first state your name and address, and after doing so, you'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. A yellow light will come on when you have 30 seconds remaining, and Ms. Gardner will say 30 seconds. When your 3 minutes are up, the red light will come on, and Ms. Gardner will say stop, and at that time, you must stop talking and leave the lectern or surrender the microphone. After comments are done, the chair thanks everyone for their comments and concerns, so I will thank you for those. So we will call our first public comment, Ms. Sonia Jeter.
Good afternoon. My name is Sonia Jeter, and I am a passenger of the big bus transit. I stand before you today with concerns about the government.
Ms. Jeter, could you state your address? I'm sorry.
Do you have to?
Yes.
Okay, 6043 North Main Street. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get through this briefly. This is just beliefs and comments that I'm making, and then I'm gonna sit down. I stand before you today.
This isn't eating into your time. She couldn't hear you. Want to make sure the mic.
Time until we can hear you.
Can you, okay.
We just want to make sure your microphone's on. There you go.
Okay. I stand before you today with concerns about the governing and operation of our city transit and services. I believe the RTA management has gone far off the track in structure of the purpose, establishment, and the original design of the transit public services for our city and community to transport the common riders, seniors, handicapped, and the youth. Transit was established and made available to transport passengers all over the region. Transit was not designed to operate like a business, a company, cab service, or a connect truck stop. Transit is not an organized system of confusion, a person or a person's legacy, or abuse of misguided power. It is not to be operated in disorderly or declining of quality services. It is public services to provide quality and safe transportation for our people to get around in their cities, communities, and neighborhoods. A unique and long-term transportation that no other service can provide and transport passengers on this magnitude. It is a flexible, economic way to provide a safe and sure way to get from one side of town to the other side. It is a stand on principles and values that will provide quality services abroad for this community and in respect of passengers and transit employees as well. It is a public service to be operated and governed by professional trained quality transit employees, drivers, other staff, and leadership, whose purpose and goal is to provide public services for the people and on behalf of the community. I'd like to publicly thank drivers and other transit-related departments for your continual service through these unreasonable, unstable, not workable route cuts, schedule changes, and points of time points with the long hours. You are the arms and legs that have kept this city moving through these frustrated times not known in our transit history. My appeal is now to the city and county leadership and our elected officials put in place to govern, assist, and serve in all matters of this
30
city.
seconds.
Okay. Please hear our voices and concerns about our transit. I believe it is your duty and now there for you to step up and make it your business to take action in this matter. That our service be restored once known quality services in this city and community. That full routes be restored to our neighborhoods and streets, students, LS buses, senior routes that was remarkable service for them. I believe the leadership and management should be changed and structured of this city transit be restored. This is the Dayton, Montgomery County, and Miami Valley Transit Regional Authority. It should be brought back under this jurisdiction where it belongs and operate on higher level of integrity and accountability. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Jeter. Next, we have Sandra Smothers.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandra Smothers. I live at 215 McDaniel Street, apartment 207. I am one of the seniors where you all took our bus service away from us at the door of 36 complexes. It's done got ridiculous. Project Mobility is getting overloaded and can't take transport half the time. The buses are full. You need to bring that Route 65, 66 back. It needs to be brought back. It shouldn't have never been took. And I am getting a little sick and tired of this bull crap that y'all putting out to us. We are seniors. Have some compassion, consideration for the seniors. Some of y'all up there, you know y'all ain't getting younger, so you need to think about it. And Mr. Rosinski, I have something to say to you also. You got on TV talking about the school kids. You said you don't want them on your bus service. You remember, this is a free ride. This is a free ride bus service. I won't say free, but this is a citizens bus service. We pay taxes for these buses. I have worked and paid mine. Now I'm sitting down, but I'm still paying taxes. You shouldn't have never got on TV saying nothing like that. You don't own this company. The citizens own it. And the county commissioners, that's who owns this company. You ought to be ashamed of yourself saying you don't want these kids on your bus. I have a grandson rides one of those buses every day. And it's not fair to him because he don't cause no trouble. He knows better. I have rode those buses cross town to school back in the days, and I knew better not to get on the bus cutting up. Enough is enough. You have put out enough on us. We are tired. And something needs to be done about it. And the bus service you took from 36 complexes, those seniors relied on that bus every week, Monday through Friday. The vets up at the VA relied on that bus. Some of them don't want to come down here and say nothing to you. But they're very upset with you, so am I. So you need to get on some TOBA time and start taking care of a little more business.
30 seconds.
What you're doing.
Thank you, Ms. Smothers. And next we'll have Althea, is this S. Abdullah? Did I say that?
Althea
Al-Sadua, I'm sorry. Al-Sadua, Ms. Al-Sadua.
Althea, 6006 Chandaway Court, Two Rides, Ohio. November the 23rd, I fell on your bus. You said nothing was wrong with your bus. Now you're putting 3 extra screws on the strips of the bus where my foot got caught, and I have to wear a brace for the rest of my life. After that incident, 4 buses reported, because I reported it. Your maintenance man called my number and told me what they were doing, and told me they were putting extra screws. But no, you were not at fault. Then, one day, I was caught on the bus, and I asked the man to let me off the Chandaway Court bus stop. And I said, sir, we were on red flag, sir. And I said, sir, I'm getting off the Chandaway Court, sir. He didn't let me off the Chandaway Court. He let me off. I don't know where. I'm blind. And when they say they can't get me there, get me back home, I try to ride the big bus to get home myself. Because I'm stronger than what you think I am. I'm a child of God, and God gonna watch over me regardless of what anybody says or do. These workers that don't want to work, make them get off the bus, because they don't own the bus. How dare you say this is my bus? You don't have a bus, you have a route. Learn your route. Learn when your bus is offline. How dare you not respond when I say yes, sir? May I sit to the left or the right? You say right, and it's the wrong way, and I sit on somebody. I have a service animal. I have to watch out for her too. No one cares? Do you care? Really? Oh my God. Maybe if the adults act right, our children would. Maybe if the adults respect each other, our children would. They're not respecting me, so what am I supposed to do? I've been here and asked so many times, and I tried to do the black and white, which I told you to do. And your people are not listening. I have to ask several times. They're not listening. Now I'm hurt, and I got to wear a brace for the rest of my life. A brace for the rest of my life. I am a child of God, and I thank my God for watching over me to make me be here today.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Mary Miller.
Hello, my name is Mary Miller. I live at 229 Colgate Avenue, Dayton, Ohio, 45417. I am here out of disgust again because Mr. Lozinski has taken it upon himself to say he wants to have the kids removed from the bus. There's a restaurant that doesn't want to serve the kids. So she put up a notice. It was respected. It's a charity organization that serves the public. You can't put up that same notice. You have to serve all of the public. And these buses are bought with tax revenue dollars. we're looking at rescinding the tax revenue dollars until the service can come up to a standard of safety and effective and efficient service. Nicholas Road bus stop put in at Dunbar is unsafe. When you come up on that bus stop, you're coming out of a hill. There's no way you can see anything in time to stop. There's no cement pad there, there's nothing there. You changed that and gave them a week's notice. It was not fair nor just. The legislature has paid attention and has contacted Dayton Public Schools. So they're going to be assisting them. One thing I found out at Dayton Board Meeting yesterday at that bus stop was they had given you $88,000 to equip buses with cameras. And we went right into the pandemic after that was paid. Those buses were never used to transport students. And when asked about them, they were told they were sold. I'm demanding that the board look into it, find out what happened to the $88,000 investment from Dayton Public Schools for their students, and give them their money back because they never used it. I'm also asking that Mr. Brzezinski's threats need to stop. You are not the only decision maker. You're the one.
30 seconds.
But will not be the one we meet last. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next comment, Derek Martin.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Derek Martin, 825 Neal Avenue. I wanted to say something, but in lieu of everybody else, I don't want to be a repeat on some of the things, so I'm not going to say everything. I'm going to let their comments, some of them speak for me. I want to say, instead I'm going to go a different route. I appreciate Mr. Brandon. Last month I came to your meeting. He was very efficient in helping me. I gave him an incident like the next day, before I can wake up, I was called and they were resolving the problem. I appreciate people like that. Miss Nikki down in she's down in the transit hub. I told her an issue. I ride 43, and I get off 43, and the first thing they say, run to the bus, run to the bus. 43 is the last bus to pull up, and they're running. They want to make the bus on time, but they're hollering, run, run, hurry up, or you're going to get that, run. For us that are workers, and we're getting off a bus, and we don't work. I work at Procter & Gamble, and we work hard. Not just, but we're hardworking. That's a hardworking bus. So when we get off of that bus, and to hear somebody say, run, 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 it's an insult. And we're kind of, but I told Miss Nikki, she resolved it, right? Kudos to Miss Nikki. I walked, the transit ambassadors came out. It was a new thing y'all did. The transit ambassadors came out, they lined up, and we were getting off of the bus, and they said, what bus are you going to? And I said, I'm going to bus 9. He said, follow me, sir. Right here, your bus is right here. He pointed to the bus, he stood there and pointed. His name was Josh. Oh, kudos to Josh. Jeremy, one time I had a problem. The director didn't know how to operate the machines. The supervisor for the street maintenance didn't know how to operate the machines for the pass. Jeremy said, that's not right. I said, I got a $100 bill, but he said, I asked him do it, give back change. He said, no, they never gave change back. I said, what? Well, how am I gonna, make a long story short, I walked out and I talked to Jeremy, who was another transit ambassador. He said, no,
30 seconds.
Follow me. He corrected the problem. He made it right. So I wanted to give some kudos to those people. I want to say something positive. Again, I mentioned to the board members earlier the last time, we want to create, the way to change a transit operation is to create an experience for the rider. We don't hear people saying, I want on the bus, who ride the bus saying, I want to stay on the bus. So if you want to change the bus, create an experience for them. Make it a pleasant experience. When I was young, I was excited about riding the bus. So I think, I saw that last month, I saw evidence of a good start. I just wanted to comment you, and I made some comments to some of the board members. I don't have time to share them right now because I know I only have 30 seconds, but I just wanted to say something positive, and I said, keep up, and
Time.
I'll be back next week. Share some more. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next we have is Bishop Covia.
My name is Bishop E. Ray Cobia, pastor of New Life Temple of Deliverance. Also, I live at 4746 Germantown Pike, Dayton, Ohio 45417. I also serve as the Interdenominational Ministers Alliance, as the second vice president, as well as the national administrator for the Worldwide Apostolic Church. My comment to the I want to say, yes, you do have some good drivers, you do have some good staff, and you do have capable people to work. And the thing about it is that as a pastor, if we dog our members, what happens? We become dogmatic. So therefore, let us understand that everybody is people too. And where I'm going with this is, last week, I drive now. Thank God I can drive now. My doctor released me to drive, so every now and then I do get back on the transit, and I do use my transit card that Brandon got me together with, and appreciate the stop on Liscum in Germantown. Thank you so much for that. We have another stop we want to talk to you all about later on. However, we need to understand that we are people. And back to what I was saying, last week when the tornado drill came about, it was all of the patriots rushed into the building, and you sent, these supervisors sent the transit workers, the ambassadors back out. To me, that hurts me. That hurts me because that could have been my family member that was out there, that when you sent the patriots back in, they were sitting out there working still instead of coming in the shelter. When it says go in the shelter, that does not exclude a transit worker or an ambassador. They should have been in a safe place as well, and that's not fair to them. You know, they deserve some kind of appreciation. They deserve some kind of something saying, hey, I'm sorry about what I did there. I dropped the ball. We all make mistakes. As a pastor, I've been pastor for 35 years. If I drop the ball with one of my members, guess what? I go back to him and say, I dropped the ball. I made a mistake. Here's a little token. Go out to lunch on us. That's my comment.
Thank you, sir. And that concludes our public comments. On to board member comments. Are there any board members that would like to make a comment? We'll start down at this end with Ms. Miller. Those are the 7 I had. Those are the ones that I had there, but no, go ahead, sir. I don't blame you, but don't hold me accountable. I didn't have the sheet in front of me, man.
It's a joke.
But go ahead. I know.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to hear some positivity coming out of the public for a change, and I'm going to share some with you also. I do appreciate.
That's what I was going to say. Please share your name.
I should know that by now. Kevin Frazier, 555 Recess Drive. Like I said, it's good to hear some positivity coming out of the meetings, and I would like to share some also. As I attended the last board meeting, there was an issue about safety. Within a week or so, I got a phone call saying that by Director Roland Caldwell scheduling a safety meeting, which we truly appreciate, which we truly needed. So I want to say thank you for that. But I'm here to address some issues that I have been reading in the Dayton Daily News pertaining to the operations of my members. And I'm going to read verbatim. Our drivers are becoming afraid of them, Our passengers are becoming afraid of them. The CEO, Bob Rosinski, told Dayton City commissioners earlier this month during a work session, "It's going to hurt our agency. In my opinion, this is a problem for the school board." School board is not here. I don't represent the school board, but I do represent the drivers and the mechanics of RTA. And after reading that, I did some researching. And what I found out is that my members are not afraid. Now, I'm not saying no one came to someone and said that, but after speaking to all my reps and my executive board members, these students are not a problem for us. And if somebody can come up with some statistics that state that they are, I really would love to see them, because I don't want my members feeling unsafe. And what I'm getting, they do not feel unsafe, okay? The children are not a problem. I think you've all seen the papers lately. The issue here, in my opinion, is 4th and Jefferson. And that's an issue that I think the city needs to resolve. It's kind of striking to me that over the last year or so, I've witnessed senior ride disappear. For the life of me, ladies and gentlemen, I do not understand that. I do not understand why you would strip a route that served these seniors above and beyond sometimes its needs, but they deserved it. They still do deserve it. And now I'm hearing that y'all talking about dismissing the school students from the bus. As Joe Lacey said, I believe that's a civil rights issue. Secondly, I heard something from Jocelyn Reinhardt about students being dropped off and being picked up late. I also looked into that, and RTA does an on-time performance record. Every week it's posted. It used to be posted daily. Our buses are running on time on the average. We average, I believe, 90%. If I'm wrong, Mr. Caldwell, I think you can pull it up. So I don't know where all this misinformation is coming from. I would ask that you please look into it, and these statements that do not appear to be true, if they're not, someone needs to answer for them. I'm getting a lot of calls, so I appreciate your time once again, and thank you. Got some golf balls for sale.
Hey, Mr. Frazier, your paper was stuck to this back one, so that is my fault. So, in the words of the bishop, when I mess up, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right while you're about to sit down. So that's my fault. His paper was in here for public comment. Now we have concluded public comments. Do we have any board member comments? And we'll start with Ms. Miller.
I have none, but I'd like to welcome you back to my second board meeting. It's good to see you in that seat.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would also like to welcome you back, Mr. Lumpkin. It's a pleasure having you back around.
Thank you, sir. Go down to Ms. Hairston.
No comment. I've already, don't want to witness.
She already said she was happy to see me back. I just want that record to reflect that she said that.
Welcome back, John, that's all.
Thanks.
I am assuming that today's minutes will reflect the comments that were made about the kudos to some of the staff. And so I would like to be sure that Miss Nikki, I don't know her last name, but I guess we know where she works, that Miss Nikki and Brandon and the transit ambassadors, Josh and Jeremy, at least get a copy of where they were, something that shows that someone came and recognized them at a board meeting.
We will take care of that, yes.
That's what we want to do.
We'll take care of that, yes.
Other than that, welcome back, John.
Thank you. My only comment is we do take these comments seriously, both negative and positive, so that we can make it a better transit authority for the entire greater Dayton region. I just want to emphasize that. So we do welcome all comments, whether they be positive or negative, because that's what we need so that we can get the feedback so that we can actually make this a better transit authority. I am glad to be back. I thank all of you who had thoughts and prayers for me during my absence, both board members and people in the public. So I do appreciate that. That is a heartfelt thank you. So I do appreciate that. At this time, do we have a request for an executive session?
We do serve to discuss and update pending legal matters.
Okay, so we do have,
The minutes would need to reflect pending or threatened litigation.
Thank you, Chris.
okay, so we do have a request for an executive session, which we will have to come out of regular session and come back. I would like to make it known that we will not conduct any further business upon returning from executive session.
I move we retire to executive.
Session to discuss pending litigation
Second.
or threatened.
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we convene to executive session. All in favor?
Roll call.
Aye.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call. I forgot. Sorry, roll call.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mr. Fullerton?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Yes.
We will now convene to executive session.